All right, friends, we're out here on a 14-degree day. It's been a tricky week. Weather's been a challenge, but as you can see, a lot has happened. Brandon with the Lead Earthworks has worked all week, and we have done the excavation to prepare for the railroad train bed. So this is how it's going to work. The train will run on the inside of what you see all dug out, and we'll kind of walk this way and I'll show you a look at what he's done. So this view kind of gives you a good idea. So we've got about 2,250 feet all the way around, all dug out. We're about 22 feet wide here. Now I'll show you, you can see in the soil layers here, even though it's kind of frosty, you get a layer of dirt, a layer of kind of squishy clay, and where I'm standing is very hard. This is not quite frozen because it was just dug out today, but you'll see a difference in the colors, but the texture, the water content changes a lot between the layers. When the railroad builders come in to put in the tracks, they have to have something stable that won't move at all. Once we compact this with a big sheep's foot roller, we'll go in layers and we'll build up to above where the current level is. There'll be drainage across underneath the tracks. These big berm piles will be gone, and then that way we'll have a stable surface to where that train won't ever move once it's going around these tracks. On the outside is where we'll have a service road that'll go all the way around. So through the years and things, as the train operates, we'll have to do things like replace ties. We'll have to come in and add more ballast, which is the rock that goes between the railroad ties. This will give our workers a chance to be able to drive their construction vehicles all the way around, which will be a nice thing as well. Different parts of the country have different dirt, and we've learned a lot about this property here. We see a lot of clay, a lot of really good farmland out in Diamond. And that's true. The top soil is great. It's very good. Then you see this little pile. I wanted to point this out. Not real common, but Brandon, as he was digging and finding the very hard surface, he hit areas of sand, a really red, coarse, dry sand. It's been saturated for years, but just falls apart. So that's case in point why we're doing what we're doing. The last thing you want to do is to not go down far enough, just take off a little bit, put the rocks in, lay your tracks, and all of the things, they start to move. So this is a big, big thing. We estimate about 400 dump truck loads of dirt have been excavated all the way around. We're going to show you that in this video as well. But it's just kind of a neat thing to see. So to start here, and where we'll end up in the spring, where your families will be able to come out and ride our railroad, will be a lot of fun. All right, so this is interesting, right? So you see the water as it's coming through. It's freezing. Kind of looks like we're down in a cave, but you can see right now we're about 5 feet below surface. So in some areas, he had to take out about 12 inches. Some areas it was 18. I would say generally it was about 24 inches out across the way. Well, as Brandon was digging out right here, his excavator came in and he hit that little sand pocket I was telling you about. The excavator started to tip. He propped it up with his bucket started to sink. So when he hit that layer of that sand, there was no way for it to compress. It was very loose, even though it had been underneath the topsoil for so many years. He was able to get all that out. As you can see here, I mean, it's absolutely hard as a rock. It is cold, it is frozen, but as he drove over it, he took out all the loose soil until his excavator made not a dent. You'll see behind me here, we'll start to go around a curve, and as we designed the railroad layout, we wanted to give you a really exciting view of the property that we have here. You'll see a lot of curves, a lot of turns. We designed it too to where all the nice trees that are still on property will be here. But as you go around the corner, you're going to see some beautiful maples. There's a nice stand of maple trees down there. Also some cedar trees, so throughout the seasons, and especially at Christmas time, we've got lots of trees to put lights on. All right, back through here, we're deeper into the woods on property. And we start curving around here to the left, then back to the right. Then we make a big 240-foot radius turn. And that gets us back up to the deepest part of the property. Back here, it's really neat. There's lots of wildlife back here. We're doing a lot of things as far as planting, foraging type plantings for them. Lots of hawks live back here. It's very pretty. So as we took the train tracks through here and we started cutting out the road bed, We specifically walked this foot by foot to determine where we needed to go to not take out any of the real desirable habitat trees. So you'll see that there's not a lot of trees plucked out of here. And you see on both sides we get nice stands of some evergreens, and then here's those maples I was telling you about. So it's really pretty back through here. I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, and where I'm at back here, we're about halfway through the train ride. This is a farther side of the property, about as far as you go from the loading station. It's really nice back here. We open up into a nice big radius curve. What's fun about that is as you're on the train making that curve, the people in the front can see the people in the back, wave at each other and have a good time. Really nice evergreens back through here. It's just a really pretty example of what we have to offer as far as the scenery. All right, so right through here, again, we're about 22 foot wide, but you'll see we're closer to that 2 foot mark, and this was much more consistent. We did have some deeper areas that we showed you also in this video, but here's the thing. In order to have a stable train roadbed, we've got to get down to this hard stuff. You'll see rocks, you'll see rock content with clay, things that we can compress and make hard. So this, fortunately, is an example of what we saw a lot. But I'll point out right over here, different colors. You've got the topsoil here to here, and then you hit that really squishy clay. They call it like a fatty clay or a spongy clay. And then right below that, you hit that hard pan. And this is the stuff where an excavator clawing through that, really hard on the teeth, very, very hard without even being compacted. So as we hit that, we know where we're at. We start to bring in the good compacting material. We'll have a big roller that will compress that. So every time we put a layer on, about 8 inches at a time, we'll roll over that to where we will actually be hard as a rock all the way down. All right, now as our train ride finishes up, we've kind of taken you around and shown you some nice little areas. This is the last part of the ride. Now there'll be multiple loops, so the train ride will be nice and long, because I know your kids will want to ride it as much as mine. It'll be a lot of fun for them. This straightaway finishes up, takes you right back up to the depot. You'll see the welcome center up there. We'll be able to wave at everybody on the back porch hanging out in the rocking chairs. It'll be really a nice thing. Okay, so here we are. We're back at this part of the journey. This is the boarding station. As you pull in, you'll be coming towards me. There'll be a really nice arched pavilion where the train will sleep at night, but that's also where we will board passengers. The way we've designed this, it'll be covered with a roof. The height of the boarding platform where that concrete level is, it's going to be the same height as the train car floors, which will make boarding very simple, very safe and easy. That's part of the mission here at Diamond Grove Adventures, is accessibility for everyone. We want everyone to have the same experience as a family together. And for that reason, Joel and his team at Sappington Metalworks, they've designed the train cars to where every one of them will accept a wheelchair without having to make any changes to the configuration. So it's just as easy for everyone to get on the train and off here at Diamond Grove Adventures. So we're really excited about that. All right, so a little over a week ago this journey began, and what Brandon with Elite Earthworks set out to do was to excavate 2,250 feet, 22 foot wide, all the way to the hard part. So you'll see where the snow is. That's gonna tell you this is exactly where he started. And then over here, this is where he finished. So this ground is still very warm. It's quite deep, 3 to 4 foot on average over here. So we really hit a shelf of high, hard stuff here. Had to go a little deeper over here. But what they're doing over here now is what you have to do when you do dirt work when it's 14 degrees. So they've got a big heater heating up that bucket to get that clay and dirt busted off of that bucket. So big thank you to Brandon with Elite Earthworks and Larry with Weed Whackers. Those guys, we don't do projects like this without people like that working hard for us. And they're just as excited too to bring this attraction to this area this spring.